2013 Volkswagen Transporter, and look what we've got. We have the oil light flashing. Oh, of course it's not going to do it now. It just normally said oil sensor, and then we've got an engine light, but we've also got, and it's not going to do it now. I can't drive because I'm on a lift. Typical. You're not going to do it, are you? You're going to do it? Are you going to do it? No, you're not. Anyway, we have the heater plug light flashing as well on this. Right, there we go. I got it. I take it back off the lift just to get the light flashing for you, so you can see exactly what's going on. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now we have a 2013 Volkswagen Transporter, and you can see we have an engine light flashing. We have, sorry, the engine light on and the coil light flashing. And when we start it, we have it used to say, but now it was just showing the picture of the oil pressure switch or oil sensor. Right. Now, normally what I would do is I would get my VDCS and I'd plug it in and I would go through everything. But the customer did tell me a few years ago, a dog went underneath this and ripped a load of wires out because obviously it was bored. And then when he started it the next day, obviously all these lights were flashing. He took it to another garage and they've done something to it. And he said, but within another week, all the lights came back. And he's been driving like that for the last year or so. So rather than me plugging it in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look underneath first and I'm going to see what's going on with the wiring, see if I can see anything obvious. The fact that all these wires did come on and it only lasted a week or so and then it came back on, I have a feeling it's maybe just dodgy wiring connections or dodgy whatever, you know, they've done it dodgy, I don't know, but we'll see. So we'll go underneath and we will see. Right, here we go. Now you can see this is the wiring. These are exhaust pressure sensors and don't know, other stuff, but definitely exhaust pressure sensors are in here. Is that all that's actually in there? No, it goes down to, oh, it also does go down to the oil switch. So yeah, oil switch and exhaust pressure sensors. So that's literally our issue here. What have they done here? They've bypassed that and left the switch on. Why have they done that? Why would you leave the connection on? That's unusual to say the least. Which one is that? That's the second exhaust pressure. Why would you leave, if you're going to bypass that, why would you leave that on? Like, or they tried to put that into, let me take all this wiring off, all the tape off, and I'll see exactly what's going on. Right, the camera might not show this, but every time I take a bit more tape off, yeah, you can see it is absolutely soaked. It's just soaked, full of water. This is the problem with using just this tape. This tape it's good, but it's not designed for what this application is. I'm going to be using vulcanizing tape and electrical vulcanizing tape and liquid tape, and then heat wrap. It's just not going to do this again. This is the issue. Water's just got in here because these aren't tightly wrapped. They're all cracked. And yeah, just don't use this type of tape underneath on this type of repair. Right, I've only stripped some of them, and look at this. This just doesn't make sense to me. They've used a heat shrink on one pipe and on the other pipe they haven't. Then again, same on here, use a heat shrink on one pipe and the other pipe they haven't. And it's not even proper heat shrinks, it's not even properly shrunk. And then this one there, look, they've just tied up the wires. It's all corroded. This is just a mess. Hopefully there's no damage done to any of the sensors. We won't know until we repair these wires, but just a nightmare. So rough. Right, I'm just doing some more stripping. Just look how bad that is up there. And they've joined it down there as well. This is the front exhaust temperature sensor. As you can see, that's all broke, but I'm not worried about that. What I can't work out is, I just can't work this out. This connection is broke for the rear sensor. Okay, fair enough. So, you know, the cheapest way is to cut the sensor out or cut the plug out and join it direct. Okay, yeah, that does kind of make sense. I understand that. But to then solder this on afterwards, that's what I don't understand. That's what I can't work out. They've soldered this back on afterwards. All I'm going to do is just cut this out completely and resolder all these, because there's no point. And hopefully, fingers crossed, there's no damage done to the sensors. I won't know until I solder it all in. And then, yes, when it needs to be repaired kind of properly, you would say, if they ever need to get a new sensor, they're going to have to get a new plug, new wiring loom, and do it that way. But even this is the oil level switch, and you can see all them of, yeah, nightmare. I'm going to have to go a lot further up into here now because of these wires here. Right, we are getting there now. You can see I've stripped all that back. But can anyone tell me in the comments, why do you think them wires are twisted together like that? Answer in the comments. And you can see there's two joins here. There's a joint there. There's a join down there. It's just a mess. Right, the dog can see the rabbit. This connection is really bad. This one just fell off. This one's all just corroded. That connection is gone as well, to be honest. I think I'm going to have to cut that connection out and just join them wires together. I can't really see any other way around it for it to make it last. I'm just going to go around now and start repairing all these wires properly and hoping for the best there's no other damage anywhere, you know, within the system as regards sensors or anything like that. Right, I really have to do a video on how to solder. I am going to do it, but just not going to be able to do it on this vehicle. The way I do it is, there's loads of different ways, but I use what's called the NASA connection. So I get each wire individually and I'll tin each wire separately. Then I would put them both together side by side and I'd also solder them. So that's what's called a NASA connection. But then what I do is I put a heat shrink wrap on it. But before I do that, I also put liquid electrical tape on it, slide the heat shrink over the liquid electrical tape, shrink it together. That then bulges out each end, so it gives it a full proper waterproof connection. Then once I've finished, I will wrap the whole thing in vulcanizing tape, which takes 24 hours to set, and it sets like rubber. And believe me, the connections that you do, they just will not break. You do have to be careful. If you put a big load of connectors together, solder them all together, they're going to be quite stiff and they won't bend, and you could end up breaking them all again. So just bear that in mind. You want to stagger your joints, and you don't want too many solder connections right next to each other, because they will eventually break from vibration. Right, I've taken this connection off and just look at it. Just really, really bad. Wires are way too thick. And the issue with using thick wires on thin wires is you have to heat up the thick wire so much more, and then it tends to melt the thinner wire. And what I can actually see has happened here is, this one wasn't heat shrunk. No, sorry, this one. This one wasn't heat shrunk, but there's heat shrink on it. What's actually happened is, as they were trying to solder this together, they put that much heat onto it. You can see it's shrunken the heat shrink, so they couldn't put it back over the top, because again, two different thickness of wires. Just, it's possible to do it, but not like that. This is why it's always good to keep old wiring looms, because you can see we've got so many different thicknesses of cable here. And if you're lucky, you might even find the right colours, or close to the right colours, to your whichever wires you're repairing. But I'm going to need something along these lines, this type of thickness. Oh, focus, you fuck. It's not focusing. But yeah, I'm just going to go through getting the thickness of wire I need. Right, a really good trick to do. Now you can take a picture, but I just think this is better. So I've cut out this wire, and obviously this wire was never supposed to be in the car, so the colours don't match. And because it's the plug, each end of the plug, the colours don't match. So all you do is you cut it off, and you leave a bit of the old wire on there, so you can see the colour of that wire and the colour of that. So you now know which wire goes where by cutting just a little bit more off, and you cannot go wrong then. Right, you can see I've repaired them two wires here. Where else? I've repaired this connection here, and I've done one wire and I'm just doing another wire, but you can see how much neater that is. That stuff on the end of the wire is flux to make the solder flow into it a lot better. And yeah, these are going to be the two sensors, the two exhaust temperature sensors repaired. And then this is for the oil level sensor at the bottom of the sump, which is here, by the way, in case you're wondering. Now, just to give you an idea what that connection looks like in stunning 4K, it's nice and shiny, there's no dull spots, and it's absolutely strong and perfect. Now we just slide the old heat shrink around it. Oh no, first what I gotta do is put some liquid electrical tape on it, then the heat shrink, then we can vulcanize taping it to it. Right, I haven't reset anything yet, I just want to see. There you go, oil sensor workshop, but I haven't connected the oil sensor in, so that's going to flash up. I just want to see if the engine light went out, or do I have to reset everything? Right, are you going to do it? No, you're not. Why are you not flashing now? All we need to do is sort the oil one out now. Typical. Is it going to do it when I start it? There you go. One of the wires is completely come off, and the other two are really bad. So yeah, just let me repair that and I'll show you at the end. Just look at this unbelievable, beautiful soldering job. Lovely. Right, this is what I'm using. This is the liquid electrical tape, which is really good stuff. So there you go. Focus. Just look at the difference, look at that. I've got to now put some vulcanizing tape all the way through, which is this stuff here. It's special tape. Doesn't actually feel sticky, but like I said, it sets like rubber. It's really, really good stuff. It's more expensive than the normal stuff, obviously, but it's a million times better. So yeah, then we can tidy it all back up, put it in its proper place, and hopefully have no more issues. All right, and there we go. It's all done with one long piece of vulcanizing tape. That's all one piece, and like I said, after 24 hours that would dry and basically be rubber. And I just got to clip everything back, put all the clips back up here and stuff like that, bend all that back, and we'll now see, because what I didn't do, I didn't test to see if the light was off. I just put all the wires together and assumed that could bite me back in the arse, but we will soon find out. Now, each to their own. When I've done a video on this before, well, not so much on how to solder, but I did do a video and basically showing people what to do, and a lot of people saying I was going way OTT. And the one I did on fixing an ABS sensor, it's never going to last, and it's still lasting now. Believe me, that's going to last. As long as it doesn't hit anything and get cut, but in the normal circumstances, that's going to last. It's not going to leak, it's not going to let water in, and it's going to be absolutely perfect. So now I've done all that, I've got to kind of hope that it's actually turned off the light and I have got all them connections right. I should have checked it, but I didn't. Just too cocky, you see, that's the problem. Now look at that. All clipped into place, not hanging down like it was before. Cable tied back to the way it was properly. Just got to push all this back, make all this look a lot nicer. But there we go, that's the proper way of doing it. Well, in my opinion anyway. Right, when I start this, let's see if I was actually right. Now, bear in mind, the sensor could be damaged, so bear that in mind. I really don't know. I should have checked this before I did all that. Oh, yes. No! No! Hold on a second, just let that service light go off, because it was flashing again. Right, let me take this for a drive and we'll see what's going on. Right! Try again. Start it. Service light is on, but no more oil flashing light. I just let it run for a few minutes. Done! Oh, yes! Lovely! Lovely!